Hello friends, I am Tom Downey and welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by The Guild. You heard Jason Garrett hint at it there. The Cowboys have indeed added some safeties, although not the guys I'm sure many of you want. We'll start off with the original one. That was Dominick Sanders, an undrafted free agent out of Georgia. I was actually a little surprised that Sanders never found a team after the draft, and he's been unsigned since then. At the very least, I thought he could be a capable camp body. Sanders does face a tough path to actually make the roster at safety. Here's how the depth chart currently sits for the Cowboys at the defensive back spot, with everyone healthy. Now, Jeff Heath, Xavier Woods are your ideal starters there. Kavon Frazier, Cam Kelly, Tyree Robinson, Marquise Enough are your next men up. But as we'll get to later on and more in depth in the show, Xavier Woods also banged up right now. So the Cowboys, they need bodies at safety. And they found one more today in Jeron Johnson, who, as we've seen several times this offseason, has a familiarity with Chris Richard. Now, Johnson did not play football last year, at least during the regular season, was signed in August by the Jags and then cut in September. He was actually coaching high school football when the Cowboys picked up the phone, brought him in for a workout, and they signed him today, actually only about an hour and a half ago. He could help quickly in the preseason given the time he has spent with Chris Richard and with Xavier Woods banged up. With Jamil Showers out for the year with a torn ACL, it leaves the Cowboys precariously thin at the safety spot. In all likelihood, week one, it's going to be Kavon Frazier, Jeff Heath as your starters, and then the backups, I think, are a bit of an issue. Cam Kelly has not looked all that great so far this offseason. Tyree Robinson hasn't looked spectacular either. You've also got Marquise Huff and now Jeron Johnson are your next men up. I don't feel overly confident about the safety spot right now. So if I were the Cowboys, yeah, I'm going out and starting a third safety. Now, George Iloka is out there. We'll talk about him. Of course, Earl Thomas is as well. I'm typing in yes. If I'm Dallas, I cannot be satisfied with the guys I currently have at safety because if there's another injury or Frazier/Heath don't play that well, the Cowboys are in big, big trouble. All right, next up, the defensive line got an addition there. Richard Ash, he is out for the year. So the Cowboys signed the recently cut Caraun Reid, cut by the Colts on August 18th, a former fifth-round pick out of Princeton, Jason Garrett's alma mater, by the Lions. Had some starts in the NFL, has never really hung around one spot for too long. It's kind of been more or less a journeyman throughout his NFL career. He now joins the Dallas Cowboys. Again, a fifth-round pick out of Princeton. He could compete for a roster spot, but in reality, I think he's behind Antoine Woods, behind Jihad Ward, Brian Price, Daniel Ross, Lewis Neal, and so on. The reality is for the Cowboys, you need bodies just to get through the preseason and practice. I think Reid might end up being one of those camp body types. Today's show was brought to you by The Guild. Visit stayguild.com. Promo code ChatSports for 15% off your next stay. If you're coming to Dallas to see a Cowboys game, you got to stay with the Guild, and that promo code is ChatSports for 15% off. One more addition here for the Cowboys as they more or less churned at the bottom of the roster. They have brought in an undrafted free agent center, Jacob Ohnesorge out of South Dakota State. Remember, Travis Frederick is banged up. Zach Martin is hurt. Marcus Martin is out for the year. The Cowboys needed more bodies on the interior. With Frederick and Martin not likely to play at all in the preseason, I'd be stunned if they did. It leaves Joe Looney as really the only guy with center experience. Now Ohnesorge can come in and give you some snaps, especially if you want Joe Looney to get some reps at right guard. We put Kadeem Edwards there at left guard. I would imagine that Edwards actually gets the starting nod at right guard over Damian Mama and others in week 3 of the preseason. But I would not be surprised if during week 3, at least at some point during the game, you see Joe Looney get some reps at guard just in case the Cowboys need him. After all, Looney is your top interior backup offensive lineman.